in Singapore. We have no recession here, but we went up and we're on a high level of economic activity, but no longer growing. Same in Hong Kong. And in the meantime, the ordinary people are suffering because the cost of living has gone up so much. The same is true in America.
So what's the end game going to be? What's the catalyst going to be? Because right now we're all happily kicking the can down the road. Different governments are doing it. Yes,
absolutely. Kicking the can down the road. And each time they give a kick, they hurt their foot a little bit more. And it will end badly. The only question is, will we first have, say, a minor economic crisis and then huge money printing? I mean, by huge, I mean going up into the trillions, as I mentioned before. Or do we get into some inflationary spiral first? Because I just want to mention one thing. Why are so many product prices in Singapore and Hong Kong much more expensive than in the US? Because when you have asset inflation and high property prices, the shops, they have to pay higher rents, and so they have to charge more for their products in order to break even. So asset inflation can essentially flow into consumer price inflation at some point.
And it's certainly been flowing into asset prices as well, and equities. And we have a viewer question for you, Mark, from James Flynn. And James wants to know if you think, topical question, internet stocks like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, do you think they're fairly valued?
I don't think so. But, you know, some technology companies will survive and maybe do well. All I can tell you, when I started to work in 1970 on Wall Street, the most, say, popular stocks were companies like Polaroid, Kodak, Boros, Digital, Mohawk Data, Memorex. Most of these companies have disappeared. Edward Land, who had more patents at Polaroid than any other person in the world, his company also went bust. Technology, I'm not interested in technology. You can make a lot of money.
You don't own any?
But no, I don't. I leave it to you.
What's your best piece of advice for investors?
Well, you know, best advice depends for whom it is. I think we have this huge pool of liquidity in the world. It will flow here, it will flow there. Last few years, the US has outperformed just about anything else. I think some European companies are relatively inexpensive. I think the Vietnamese stock market is inexpensive. There's low liquidity there, but it's inexpensive.